Hey guys, so today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cars video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how to spot a fake PSA slab and how to avoid getting scammed by knowing these couple few tricks that should really help. These couple few tricks that should really help you guys be able to tell whether a slab is legit or not. Of course, if you guys saw my last video, a lot of people right now are creating counterfeit PSA slabs, BGS slabs. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can avoid getting scammed. You guys know there's a lot of things that, of course, if you have been collecting cards for a while, by the look of a PSA slab and by the feel of a PSA slab, you should be able to at least have a sense. Of course, there are some new slabs that feel a little bit different than the old slabs, and a lot of people have been freaking out a little bit about that, but I would not be too worried about that because PSA has been changing the feel a little bit. However, one of the easiest and fastest ways to tell is the PSA logo in the silver foil, which is located in the middle of the PSA label. And if you move it back and forth in light, the colors are supposed to change. And not every, I would say most fake slabs are not able to replicate that. If you put that in light, if you put the silver in light, the color's not going to change. And that is one of the biggest red flags. Of course, before you do any of that, the biggest thing is you want to scan the QR code at the back. And if it doesn't go to PSA's website and pull up the pop report of that correct card, then that is the biggest first red flag. But a lot of counterfeits nowadays do have the correct QR codes because that's pretty easy to copy. So that would be the first, easy step. I would say the second step is definitely the silver foil in the middle of the label, making sure that the colors do change. There are a couple other ways. There are a couple good websites that I will link below, but there are a couple more intricate ways of checking whether a slab is legit. For example, a black light, which are pretty cheap to buy. You can buy them pretty easily, and you can check the small PSA words on the backside, the top left on the backside of the PSA slab. And you can also see the waves / slight blue in the white of the label, which is legit for PSA slabs. It is not legit for fake PSA slabs. So that is another really good way of being able to tell. Of course, you do want to make sure, if you are buying a card that has sold before, checking where it's sold, chances are if it's been sold on an auction house, you are good to go. But I would say right now there's still a super small percentage of cards that are faked right now. A lot of them, I would say a vast majority of them, anyone who's been collecting cards for a while should be able to tell that the look would be pretty off right off the bat. A lot of times the red on the label, a lot of times the red square on the label around the corners, that would be a different color. So if you guys are familiar with the PSA slab, you know that it's fairly bright red, especially for the newer slabs. The newer slabs, the quote-unquote newer slabs that are faked, a lot of times they don't get that red color correct. A lot of the times it's a little bit darker of a red shade. So if you do come across a card. Of course, the older labels were also a little bit darker, but if a card is a quote-unquote new label and it has the PSA scans, but it is, a darker shade, then that could be a red flag. But I would say the biggest thing is going to be the illumination effect, which is what I talked about, the silver. If that is not changing colors, then of course that is a pretty big red flag. And I personally would stay away from a card like that. But I would definitely say if you're doing that, if you're checking the lighting, of course, it's a little bit tougher when you're buying cards online, especially that just have scans. So for those, it's really about buying from reputable sellers. I would not be buying from an eBay account that doesn't have any feedback, or, different areas. So usually if they have good feedback, if it's from an auction house, of course you should be good. But the other main things would just be the quality of the plastic on the plastic holder. Of course, the color, you want the red borders to not be darker than it usually would be. You want the illumination effect, and then of course you need the scan to work for that to be a card that I would trust to buy. So I hope that you guys learned something from this video. I know it wasn't a super in-depth, you know, it wasn't a super in-depth video, but I can make more in the future. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to link down below a couple of good areas to get more in-depth information, because I personally am still learning it for myself. So these are the things that I've kind of caught up on recently. So I hope that you guys did enjoy this video. I hope that you guys learned something from this video, and I will, like I said, link those down below. And other than that, thank you guys so much for all the support, and I'm out. Peace.